Hi everybody, Radek Grafiński here. I'm from Delinia, so yes, I will be one of the two hosters today. Um, we will be talking about why privilege access and identity management is so important these days for you as a company, as a on the industry, and also how regulators are looking into it. So today's agenda, I will start with the general overview of identities, how we see the changes on the market, and a bit more about what Delinea is as a company. Then I will move to the next part related to the compliance and regulations. I will be talking about DORA NIS2 requirements, and then also a bit about cyber insurance. So how we can address those needs with usage of the Delinea solutions. And then my colleague Dinas will guide for you Delinea demo session. So you will see some of the modules I will be talking about in action. Um, if you don't mind, I will switch the camera because during my presentation very often I walk, so just to not disturb you with seeing me moving around all the time, I will switch it. And also one more question, as one more ask to you. As Asta said, if you have any questions, just write it in the chat. So then Asta will break my speech and ask this questionability. So I think it will be just better for all of us to to have the questions according to the what I'm talking right now about.
Just a
So
small notice that please send not to chat because chat doesn't work for you, but Q&A
okay,
section. You should see this icon in your screen. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Asta. So yeah, let's move forward with with my presentation. So cybersecurity risk is naturally growing as IT environment is growing with the complexity. So we have more and more areas inside of the enterprise where IT play a key role. We are not using anymore a large monolithic systems. Our systems are open, modular, exchanging information with other applications, subsystems, with other companies like like our subcontractors, like vendors we cooperate with, and with our customers. So scale of a potential vector of attack is also growing. And then at the end, we have a number and growing number of the cybersecurity solutions we are using, and the number of vendors is also growing. So as world is not perfect, integrations between each solution is not always perfect. Sometimes we choose some solution which focus on part of our environment, but for example, we forget about other parts of a company. So we are leaving some areas uncovered. Um, every every module, every application, every server use some cyber identity associated with it. So it's not anymore like here. It's not anymore just IT management guys, just on-premise servers, everything in our data centers. The number of identities is growing. So we have more and more users per applications. We have web applications, micro modules. Those components, they are exchanging data between themselves. Um, More and more of the OT environment is driven by IT. We have growing IoT in our environments, cloud solutions widely used in our environment, and also things like DevOps and robotic programming approach. So more and more of this generates more and more identities. Each identity is a potential, vector of attack. So if we will use some solutions which we cover only partially security of our systems, we leave other modules not covered. So each of them, if it is not monitored, not secured, is a potential very good vector of attack. Sorry for a second. I'm sorry, I had to snooze my nose. Um, yeah, so we should cover all of the entities in all of the systems, not just focus on the privileged users like admins, because as I said, attack can start with any of these identities in our environment. So what others are talking about this? From Forrester, 80% of breaches involve privilege accounts. So you see on one stage of another, somebody like a hacker will use the privilege account which was not managed properly in some of the systems which exist in our environment. 85% of the attacks are done through compromised endpoints. This is more and more important these days because, as we mentioned already, we are not longer in the era where our users are just using company devices, just desktops installed in our factory, because we have beyond bring your own device idea in our companies, right? We are using our phones, our tablets, and other things we use privately also to access to our company assets. So if those devices will not be monitored and managed properly, also they are a very good starting point for attacking our company. And the last one, my favorite one from Microsoft, 96% of vulnerabilities they have in the Windows can be mitigated just by removing local administrative rights. So we all know, and Microsoft knows this as well, that they still have a lots of bugs in their systems, and probably this will not change too much. But there are some easy steps which we can manage to avoid using those bugs to be potential starting point of an attack on your company. We in Delinea, we think that looking on the systems like traditional way of a traditional PAM is not enough. So we think that just focusing on administrative guys on the on-premise servers, desktops in the company is not enough, because as we already discussed, there's lots of other identities which are traveling through our network, and each of these identities, if compromised, can be good starting point of an attack on our environment. So these days, extended PAM or XPM, if you like, should cover all of the identities and manage all of the identities which we have in our environment, both human related but also non-human related. That's how we think modern privilege access management systems should be constructed for you to really bring security to your environment. So there are three main functionalities which should be delivered by XPM. One is preventing of identity or credential theft with increased visibility and discovery across all of the IT systems in your company. Second is controlling of all privilege access. And third is limitation of the privilege escalations to just in time and just enough. So we want to allow privilege elevation only when it's needed and for as long as it's needed. Plus, we want to allow user or application to have access only to those privileges which are needed, not just to upgrade them to the upper level of the privileges and let them do whatever they want to do. We also understand that not of our customers are the same, and in fact, our vision is opposite. So we think that each of our customers is a bit different, have some unique needs, and is on different stage of implementing their privilege access management systems. So we do not offer one monolithic golden appliance which will solve all of the issues you may have. We think that our solutions we potentially want to use should adapt to your current stage and to let you build your complete XPM system with steps which fits your company strategy and policies. And that's why we offer very modular systems which lets you to choose which modules you want to implement right now, with the possibility to integrate also with solutions you already have maybe from other vendors. And of course, we offer both on-premise and cloud solutions, so it's up to you which model fits you better right now. As a foundation, of our XPM, we offer Secret Server. So this is the most popular product from our portfolio, which is, let's say, classic PAM approach with session recording and auditing, user management, session isolation, all these things which we usually require from the PAM system. Together with the Secret Server, we offer Connection Manager. This is a solution which lets your admin to create their user interfaces with the console access, and then Connection Manager does all the magic like integration with the secret server, exchanging password, doing check-in checkout policy, initiating recording, starting MFA, etc. So for them, they still work like they used to do, having their consoles which they like, but below this, Connection Manager do all of this integration with the secret server. And next, very popular module these days is RAS, Remote Access Service, which lets you to create access portal for your remote coworkers or external contractors to let them have access without VPN. So it is VPN-less, directly to their servers or their applications through HTTP emulated sessions. As a next stage, we built enhanced phase of XPM with three major solutions. So Server PAM is a module dedicated to just in time and just enough functionality. So we are eliminating use of shared privilege accounts. Our users just use their own accounts on servers with minimal needed privileges. So only when they need it, then system allow them to upgrade their privileges to certain level of privileges which are required for doing particular action, and of course for the defined time. Together with this, server PAM is initiating, of course, MFA everywhere, is initiating session recording and auditing. And what's important here, I said MFA anywhere. So it is not anymore just MFA on the system login, because sometimes it's not enough. So we are able to define MFA, of course, on the session login as well, but also on the level of a privilege elevation, on the level of starting particular application, just to double check if still this person is the same person. Um, Server PAM also allows for one more very useful technology, which is AD bridging. And this is integration of all users, which we have on some standalone Linuxes, Unixes, which don't have any, and the servers which don't have any access to the AD. And by many reasons, we don't want to keep them in the AD. But what we can do, thanks to the AD bridging, we can synchronize the users on all of these other servers not in AD into AD, and to cover everything with one central GPO, with MFA everywhere, and just in time and just enough policies on those systems which are often, staying completely unsecured. Sorry. And then Privilege Manager is a module which eliminates admin rights on endpoints like Windows and macOS desktops. So no more run as an admin procedure, because this procedure, as we already know, can be dangerous because of a hash attack. And DevOps Secret Vault is an extension of a secret server which allows for the massive DevOps operations when you need lots of performance and you want to eliminate the scripts consisting of the hard-coded password, which is the pain point usually of the large DevOps environments. And the last stage is a adaptive phase. We are adding some machine learning and AI technologies. We have two major modules here. ALM, or account lifecycle management, allows you to automate discovery and management of the service accounts, which can be found in your environment. And the last one is a PBA, Privileged Behavior Analytics. This module creates user behavior profiles. And when something goes against such a created profile, it can initiate some action like sending requests to the help desk, blocking session maybe, or sending second MFA request just to double check if still this person is the same person as should be. Because very often you have a situation that somebody just maybe stolen the credentials to access the O365, right, and log in correctly to their account. But we can observe the he's doing something completely different, right? When you have somebody from the accounting team and he logged correctly to the system, doesn't mean that he should try to do some pseudo action on the Linux servers, not necessarily. So thanks to using this kind of technology, we can block some actions proactively before some damage is started in our environment. Um, so these are our main solutions. I just wanted to do a very brief introduction to you, what we as Adelinea, what we have, what we do. Um, Before I will go to my main part of today's session, I just wanted to share with you some information about how external analytics companies see Delinea. So, we are super proud that we are the only one vendor who was named as a leader in all 5 major reports done last year, by Forrester, Gartner, Kuppinger, Frost and Sullivan, and Emma Rader. If you want to check any of these reports, you can find them on delinea.com, of course. Or if you have a problem with accessing them, just let me know and I will help you to get it. Of course, a couple of the big names as our official references. Even though Delinea very often is considered as a great fit for the mid-market or bit bigger mid-market, but we are also very well suited for the large environments. As you see, we have some customers from the technology, but also from couple of other industries. So if you want to have information about some references from your industry, just ping me and I will help you to get the official information with whom we are working. Okay, so let's move to main part. So compliance. I wanted to start today with the DORA, which stands for Digital Operational Resilience Act. This regulation is mainly for the financial sector. However, this is not as narrow as some may think. It was introduced officially on January 16 last year. So we are now in the vacatio legis, that's how it's called, period right now, which usually takes 24 months. So we have like one more year to be fully in line with the DORA. Um, if, of course, we belong to one of the groups which are under these regulations. So beside the companies like banks, insurances, which are natural here, we have also other like data reporting service providers, rating companies, crowdfunding, and also ICT service providers working with any financial type of institution. So as you see on this slide, the range of the companies which are under the DORA regulations is quite large. It's not just a bank and not just an insurancer. Let's take a closer look what DORA is talking about and how eventually we can address those needs. So first paragraph, so it is article number 5 and the paragraph 1 and 2. Financial institutions must set up internal governance and the control framework to control ICT risks. Then article number 6, dedicated to ICT risk management, which says that companies should monitor and control functioning of ICT systems. Article number 8, here DORA is talking about identities of cyber threats and vulnerabilities. As you see, we are not only talking about your own resources, but also about third-party services providers. So um, to let us being compliant with the DORA, we must also require some same compliance from our ISPs, which means that our SP should also be compliant with the DORA. And article number 10, talking about protection and prevention. So not only reactive solutions which react on what already something's happening in our environment, but also solution which eliminates and identifies some strange activities before they start making damage to our environment. So these are the main articles which are in DORA, which are related to what we as Dalina we can help you with. Let's look closer how we can solve some of those requirements. So first part is need for the monitoring and auditing of the user actions in the systems. Sorry, so we need to have a vaulting system to store the critical credentials. We must also have the password rotation. So here we are usually using secret server, which is exactly solving those needs. For a holistic view of a privilege activity across all the systems in use, and for the monitoring and reporting of AD environment, server suite and the cloud suite, which are two modules being part of a server PAM, are the solutions we can solve the needs of the meeting the DORA requirement. For monitoring and auditing sessions on servers, monitoring remote sessions with the VPN-less access. Here we have also a couple of the solutions, server PAM, so as I said, server suite and the cloud suite, and also remote access service modules. Those modules from the Linux can address those needs. For the zero trust access without admin rights on the servers and desktops on the daily routines, MFA on the command level on desktop and servers, we are using server suite or the privilege manager for the desktops. Um, sorry. Using scanners is a must actually these days, but such scanners can be also dangerous if we are not managing them properly. So we have to eliminate password hard-coded there with check-in check-out policies and password rotation, because it's, I saw it a couple of times working in a couple of my previous companies where of course our customers were using vulnerability scanners because, as I said, it's a very useful tool, but to make it faster and easier and automatic, the password was just hard-coded there. So if stolen, then this password can be used, to start doing the attack on our environment. That's why we should eliminate it. So again, secret server can be a solution here, just to let scanner use secret server stored credential, and then secret server after each use is changing, for example, password, and also is doing the check-in check-out policy. So when scanner is using particular credential, no one else can use it at the same time, just to try and use the same password same time. Uh, Behavior analytics with the proactive actions, as we already were discussing, this PBA is the solution here. And for the tracking suspicious and anomalous activities before those activities can cause any damage to our environment, again, privilege behavior analytic is the module which can solve the issue we may have here. So that was quickly DORA part. As I mentioned, this is mainly for the financial sector. However, as you saw, it's not that narrow, not just banking and insurances. If you maybe work as a company who is any kind of a service provider to those financial institutions, you are also obligated to be in line with the DORA requirements, because the company to which you offer your services, they will ask for it. Second part, I'm sorry. Second part of the regulations, which is quite popular these days and noisy in EU, is NIS2, which is much broader than DORA. NIS2, of course, is the second version of the NIS. The name comes from Network and Information Security Directive. NIS was introduced to EU market in 2016, while NIS2 was introduced together with the DORA, so it was January 16 last year. And the countries have a time to implement it till October 17 this year. So still you have bit of a time. However, after this, each of the countries should be ready to have their view of this regulation and how it imply to us as a companies, from Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, or Poland. NIS2 is more detailed and explicit on some requirements, so do not leave that much of the space to let local governments trying, to minimize their effort to change anything on their side, which was the huge problem with the NIS. NIS2 also cover much broader group of industries which must meet NIS2 regulations. This, for example, energy, transport, digital infrastructure, water and wastewater, health, public administration, and space, for example. So let's take a closer look to the NIS2. Of course, the most important one in the EU these days, there is a new administrative entity, so new officers will be working on this. There are also new tools to exchange informations between regulator and the companies which are under some regulations. There are also new obligations. So within 24 hours, company which is under attack or is affected by attack must inform NIS2 administrative group that they have an incident, and within 72 hours initial report should be provided. So as you see, we need to have a very good tools to be ready to provide those information. Um, and as I already mentioned, there is a number of critical sectors which are under NIS2. So to what I already said, additionally, there is also chemistry industry, food, postal and courier services, and digital providers. Also needs to introduce two categories of classifications based on the size and the services, how critical those um, services are to the country function. So there are also two categories of the fines which are related to those categories of the companies. So for essential type of enterprise, it is up to 10 million euro or 2% of annual turnover. And for important group, it is 7 million euro or up to 1.4% of the total annual turnover. So guys, this is kind of a serious number, right? So what areas of the NIS2 are related to ICT? So they require password changes mechanism, which is now mandatory. Limitation of access with the admin level and monitoring access to those accounts. Management of identities and access, software and hardware update policies, management of the new installations, backing up data and procedure for backing up data, zero trust principles, proactive framework of readiness, safety, and security in the event of a cyber threat incident, cybersecurity awareness training and the simulations. And additionally, use advise also to adopt machine learning mechanism for further enhancement of the cybersecurity, which is mainly related to the better detection and lower time to response and proactive elimination of a potential incidents. Now, let's dive into more details view and how we as Delia can help you to respond to some of the needs. First paragraph, I want to shortly talk about this paragraph number 49, talking about cyber hygiene. Here we find a requirement for the password changes mechanism and limitation of admin level access. For password rotation and management, in most cases, we can support our customers with a secret server, or if they have more advanced environment, it can be also integrated with the DevOps secret vault for DevOps customers and ALM for the large infrastructure with the tons of the service accounts present in our environment. For standing admin rights on the workstations, we are solving these issues with the privilege manager. Next one is paragraph 89. This one is talking about session and identity management and zero trust principles. Um, this can be addressed with the secret server and server pump solutions. We introduce MFA everywhere. So as we already mentioned this, as I mentioned this already, either on the system level or on the secret server access level or on the level of the command on the systems or privilege elevation on the system. And it is not either this or this. As I mentioned, we can have multiple stages of MFA, so we can have different MFA on the level of the system login, but then another MFA policy, for example, with somebody is trying to do some really critical command on the Unix server. There are a couple of more paragraphs which can be also addressed with the delinea, like paragraph 51 with the behavior analytics, which we can cover with the PBA. Paragraph 54 requiring no standing privilege account, either on local or cloud servers, which we address with the server PAM. Paragraph 85, addressing minimalization of use of VPN, access without VPN and without any additional agent to be installed on the endpoint. So this one we can solve with the remote access service from the Linea. And paragraph 102 with the session and user monitoring and auditing. Here, again, we have a couple of choices depending on what type of environment we have already and we want to cover, so it can be addressed with the secret server, privilege manager, or server PAM. And the last part I wanted to cover today is a cyber insurance.
Just maybe before moving to this
Yeah,
part, we got a question regarding NIS2. So the question is, the company has many companies in different countries. Which country have NIS2 to apply?
it's a very good question. So if those departments are independent entities and officially registered in each of the countries, each of them they should be related to the particular country. However, what I see very positive with the NIS 2 when you compare it to the NIS, as I mentioned, there is not that much of the freedom for the country to bring their own way of seeing this. So with the NIS one, it was like, okay, one country said, okay, we can do it that way, and the other country said, no, 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 we are super relaxed, and especially I saw this difference between like countries like Baltic countries, Germany, to some extent Poland. Those countries were very strict on what we need, but also we have countries like Greece, Italy, super relaxed, and we have completely different meaning of a NIS. With the NIS 2 is not that anymore. So there are really certain rules which each of the country have to follow. So there is not as many differences between those countries. But answering straight your question, if each sub company is registered in the different country, it should apply to the local law regulation of this country. Hope this is answer to the question. Right, we lost Asta. So
No, I'm here. Thank you.
okay,
No more questions at this time.
okay. So let me move to the cyber insurance and how it works. So first, we have to calculate the cost of the breach, and it's not just the cost of the demanded ransom. There's also cost of the lost value in stolen data, cost of incident response, and then recovery. Usually also imply lost business, breach notification, also lower value of our company, which is then related to the lost reputation and loss of a business partner. And downtime is also a real cost to us. And at the end, of course, we have costs associated with the legal cases. So what we can do with this risk? Of course, we can avoid such situation and reduce probability of an incident by building cybersecurity systems and policies inside of our company. Um, we rather have to accept that sooner or later we will be under such attack. So it's not anymore that only top largest customers are under attacks, because ransomware attacks is very profitable business these days. And everything you have to do if you want to attack one company or another, you just go to the darknet, pay fee of 140 up to 200 euro. You define domain name of a company which you want to attack, pay this money, you define the size of the ransom, that's it, attack started. So as you see, not anymore that this is just business done by super skilled smart hacker guys sitting somewhere with their green screen. No, just go to darknet, pay for this, define the size of the ransom, put the domain name to be attacked, that's it, and you have attack over another company. So as I said, sooner or later somebody may try to do the same with your company. So then what we can also do, what we have to do also with this risk, we have to also understand that we share the risk with our supply chain. So it's not just our independent company working in the silo. So any attack on us will also affect our partners and suppliers, but also if they will be under attack, it will also affect us. So the last option we have is transferring. So with the transferring, first thing we can do we can do outsourcing. So some of the systems are outsourced by us. So now it is the problem of our outsourcer to secure the systems. It's not our problem anymore, and they have to provide us the systems because we pay them for the services. And the last thing what we can do is the insurance. So in case of a successful attack, so some of the cost will be paid to us. How it's calculated? Typical coverage in USA is from 4.5 million to 9.5 millions of dollars, and for the coverage of 20 millions, usually insurances say they ask for the 80K up to $1 million of the cyber insurance. And as I said, usually that's how we were paying. Why were? Because in last 2 years, the insurances giving you the option of the cyber insurance, they realized that 85% of the cyber insurance they sold was actually claimed back. So of course, business where 85% of the cases came back to you with the payment for the payments cannot be profitable. So how they can respond to make still this business profitable for them. So first, they want to exclude the risk which you cannot calculate. So some of your business may not be under such a cyber insurance. Of course, what they are doing, they are increasing risks, and we see that between last year and this year, in some countries, it gone up for the 30% minimum. They can deny contract, and again we observe more of this. I remember like 4 years ago in Poland, for example, where I'm coming from, you just gone to the one of the cyber insurances, you just brought very basic financial information about your company, some very basic security report, that's it, you had the cyber insurance paid. Now it's not like this anymore. So to reduce the risk, to mitigate the risk and minimize the loss ratio, they ask for more and more of a control of what and where they will cover, and they add more and more requirements which you have to meet to get such a insurance. So very often what we see, they strictly ask for the PAM systems, and it is written in the contract with them that you have to have it, but not only just PAM requirements, they also require access to the detailed auditing functionality. They ask for the zero trust policy on multiple levels. So it is not just the TNA anymore. It is also on the server level and services level. Of course, elimination and monitoring of the standing of overprivileged accounts, and remote users monitoring, with monitoring also external contractors and their access to our infrastructure. So it's not anymore like this that we give them a VPN and let them do whatever they want to do for the certain time of a time, certain amount of a time. We really want to know and monitor what they do, where they can do these actions, and for how long they can do this. Of course, we need to be able to audit and manage the life cycle of the service account in our infrastructure. So, sorry. So these points here can be addressed with the Delinea solutions. I don't want to repeat again the names of it because of the time. But if you want to discuss more these points, let me know, please. We can set up the dedicated session for you just to discuss one or another areas of this. And also, if you want to learn more, we have very interesting documents on our portal on delinea.com. You have a dedicated documents for the NIS2, for the DORA, and also for the cyber insurance. So just search delinea.com. If you will not find it there, please let me know. Drop me an email on radek.rafiński@delinea.com, and I will help you get the answers for your questions. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much. Now we'll switch to Dina's part to do the demo sessions. In the meantime, still, if you have any questions, just let me know. I will stay till the end of our today's sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Radek. Thank you. Okay, I will share my screen. Sure. I hope you see it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so quickly, I will just overview how I will talk today about the Delinea secret server, and just quick overview how it's usually deployed. So you have a server of Delinea, the main thing. It's deployed on Windows Server, and then you have administrator users who can log in to those systems, to the systems you want to control. So we can configure in different ways. So we can configure that the admin can connect directly to some systems. To other systems, maybe he will need to use a proxy to connect to those systems, or maybe he always has to use a proxy to connect to increase security. Yeah. If you have some branch offices, different locations, so you don't need to deploy Delinea everywhere. You can deploy just an engine, which kind of talks with the main server. It does a pull request to the server, and then gets a login information again for the admin. So admin just goes to the usual. It looks for him totally the same. He does not see any difference to secret server, and then logs into the systems that are on the branch offices or somewhere else. But so just quick overview how it's usually could be deployed. From the administrative side, as usual, you have a web administrative window, dashboards here with the usual information that is necessary. You can edit those, create your own dashboards. It just depends on you what you want to see. Of course, the main thing are the secrets. Here on the left side, you can see that there are different folders. So again, you can create those folders, put specific secrets that you want in those folders according to your company logic, or by the system, or by the type of administrator or whatever, and then assign those folders to correct users. If you open specific folders, you will see what secrets there are. You can have a subfolder, as you can see here, in each folder, and again, to have this different level of system logins. So if I take whatever secret I have, I can open it, and depends on my rights. Maybe I can see the password of that secret. Let's take another user who should not see the password of that secret. Yeah, so he only sees the machine name, the username, but does not see the password of the secret. So again, this is configurable. You can do it as you want. But yeah, usually we'll click launch, and the LNA will automatically log in to the system without revealing you a password. So let's imagine I'm just some administrator that maybe I should be able to edit some files or look at some files here, but maybe I should not have su commands and change my user to another level. Yeah, it will be just blocked by our policy. So we can control what user can run on, what commands he can run on this Linux server, and what commands will be blocked. So you can have a blacklist of commands or have a whitelist of commands that user can run. Here in the top left corner, you can see this red bubble. It means that my session is being recorded. So again, you can choose, do you want to record the session or you don't want to record the session? And do you want to announce to user or not announce to user? With Linux, we can record screen and input output commands. With Windows, we can do, let's maybe start some Windows system as well. Let's launch this one, for example. Yeah, as you see here, a connection manager tool, which kind of gives me multi-tab possibility to use connections. Yeah, and also I could log in just to this tool and without going to the web administrator and just work with this. So yeah, with Windows, we can again do keylogger, do screenshots, and if we install an agent to the Windows server, we can also collect metadata, like started applications, stopped applications, processes, and etc. And what is nice about this agent also that we can even record those sessions if user logged in directly, not using the LNA. So we can configure it as we want. But yeah, here you can see I can jump between these different sessions. I'm being recorded. And yeah, let's close them because I don't want to fill up my database with unnecessary information. Again, you can do different configurations. For example, a checkout. Let's imagine I'm sharing this one account with different users. Of course, from security perspective, it's not recommended. In real life, it's different. You kind of sometimes need to share those accounts. So when I do a checkout, I get a timer, how long I can use the secret, so other people will not use it for that time. This, of course, is configured. So we set to 1 hour. We can change this timer. We can also force password changed after the secret is checked in. And when I have a checkout, I can launch the secret. And for example, to what server? Let's try this one maybe. I don't remember if I can log in with this account to the server, but let's test it out. So I just log into the system. Again, for 1 hour, I can use it. Yeah. Let's close this. Let's check in again. And go back to favorites. Another example of checkout is maybe a bit more interesting. So I have this account. And if I go to my, okay, let's log in. If I go to my Active Directory, not so fast. Refresh. This account that I'm showing, it is disabled. I don't want to check out right now because then it will enable it. So if I go to the DC, we can see this account. Well, it's hard for you maybe to see, but there is this arrow down, which means it's kind of disabled account. But when I go here and I check it out, a script runs and enables this account in Active Directory. So if I click refresh and zoom in, as you can see, the arrow is gone on this user. So now I can take this user and again, launch some server. I think this user should be able to log into this one. And so, yeah, here you can see that Delania has this flexibility of how you want to configure it, how you want to deploy it. You can do workflows like approval accesses. So at the moment, I don't really have a good one. But for example, you need to enter a command to get the secret, whatever. Yeah. And I get the secret. Maybe I need multi-level approval. So I request and somebody else has to approve me, or even 3 or 4 different people has to approve me so that I am able to use the secret. So you can again configure it differently. Yeah, Radek mentioned password rotation, quite an important stuff. So let's change password now just to show that it works, randomly generated. But you can create a policy again that will go and automatically change the password on your whatever time you want. Yeah, so you can change password every month, every day, a specific day or time of the month or of the week, and etc. You can specify how difficult the password should be that is used to change. And you also, if let's say this user cannot change its password, you can specify another user who will go and change the password of the secret. So you can do it manually, or more logical, you can do it automatically. And what usually does all the NIST and etc. requires a proof that it's been done. So we get the logs here, of course, that the password has been changed, etc. successfully 4 minutes ago. You can go here and look the history of the password if you have the rights again. So when the password was changed and what the password was, and the password will be created by your specified password security policy, difficulty policy for the system. So yeah, we can, again, as I did, do manually or automated.
Dinas, there are some
Yes.
questions, so I would like to answer
Okay.
them. Okay.
Okay, no
So
problem.
the first question is it just single server having all components of PAM solutions? We can do this on one server because our system is super scalable and can be really, really light. However, it is up to you what scales you have. Usually in the uh, reference architecture, we never want to place presentation level with the database level. So usually you located in different servers. However, as I said, if there is not very large scale of the users, yes, you can sit everything on one server. It is, as I said, super scalable, and you can do whatever you want to do. The second question is about HR disaster recovery scenarios. So again, we are super flexible. You can, multiply presentation level, you can multiply management database level, you can have everything on one site, multiple sites, online, offline sites, hybrid environment with the cloud to on-premise to cloud. So it's up to you. If you will go to docsdelinea.com and search for the reference architecture, you will find plenty of this for each of our modules. Then another question, can be vault on the engine side? So again, it is related to the same questions. It is not suggested to put entire vault just on the same machine as engine. However, if it is really needed, can be done. If company have a separate networks with separate ADs, separate Delinea installations are needed, no. We can do in one secret server covering separate ADs integrations the, the for each of the departments, and each of them can be managed from one Delinea installation, with of course being in line with all of those official regulations. We have to keep information separate between our ADs. Then one more, do I understand correctly that if we use Delinea, we can more secure provide access to our IT subcontractors? How it's licensed in this case? Yes, it is exactly as you said. We can, because what we want to avoid we want to avoid to have VPNs. I mean, VPNs will stay for always because for many reasons we need them. But when you have a subcontractor or remote access users, we don't want to let them having access to everything we have in our network. You don't want to let them have just VPN access. Some may say, okay, but with VPN we can do the subzones, subnets. Yes, we can do, but being very honest, I'm old enough to do a couple of, because I used to be an engineer still, believe it or not, but I do, and I saw many of the firewall installations, even large firewalls, but because of the tons of the changes in the infrastructure of the customer environment, what we do after a while, after we either we keep the subzone statics and we don't change too much in this, or in one moment or another we just eliminate it because it's too many of the changes and we never are able to be following up this. So if we have situation like this and we have either very large subnets or no subnets even for VPN, then if somebody access this, can do everything, can travel to an entire network of ours, which we don't want to do. So what we provide with the Delinea and especially with the remote access service, we just provide the portal located in the internet. That's what Dinas is just showing. And from this, we are just defining which user as a subcontractor has access to which application or the server. So we can even define application level. So we can be really, really granular on what they do, where, what time. We are, of course, monitoring time of what they're really doing. So this is also very often use case as well, not only just to secure our system, but also to do the billing. Because when we really monitor what they do, it's not enough just to start the VPN session and saying, hey, yeah, I spent 8 hours working for you, dear customers. That's my invoice. No, because we see exactly everything they really do. So this is also kind of a nice use case. So yeah, I hope I answered the question. And give me one more second. I see another question. Yeah, do you have best practice instructions? Yes, we do. Again, I don't want to take too much time here on answering these questions. Go to docsdelinea.com and you will find best practices there as well for the breaking glass procedures. Which directory services can be integrated? Can be AD, like AD, can be Azure AD, which is a bit different from AD, can be LDAP, Open LDAP. So many of these can be used same time also, because we can also integrate with the multiple directories. And we have also in the server PAM, we have also a module called a multi-directory broker. So we can even help you to integrate different directories together to manage all of them from one place. That's it, Didier. Sorry for taking a bit
It's
of your
okay.
time.
No problem, no problem. Okay, yeah, coming back, what I was talking about. Yeah, so one thing that I think I did not mention is heartbeat. So again, by your configured policy, Delinea will check if it is able to log in to the systems using the specified username, password, etc., checking if it's possible. And let's say in the dashboards or whatever, you can see where the heartbeat failed. So maybe the server is off, maybe somebody rotated password and I did not know about it, and etc. So you can monitor which secrets are still accessible and which are not. Yeah, this I talked about. I think the last one, just because I only talked mainly about Windows and Linux in my demo, I want to show you at least one other system. Let's log me out of basics. And then enable recording here for web-based application. Let's say, so for that I have a plugin here. I could click to log in from plugin. I can click launch here, and it should log me into the SXI. It will say that this session will be recorded for auditing purposes, and it kind of shows a red dot that I'm being recorded. So again, you can log into different systems. I just showed you very couple and very little amount of them. Just moving on a bit further, reports, of course, they are here, but it's maybe strange for me that they're mostly as a question. Not usual for me, but yeah, Delnet is this like that. But what I wanted to show, so we can take a report, and this shows this what Radik mentioned also, this openness, not the black box approach to the solution, but open box, white box approach to the solution. So I can take whatever report that is predefined already in the system. I can click edit, and I can see the SQL query that is being done to get this report. So I can edit it to my liking, let's say not 90 days, but 60 days or whatever. Or maybe I want to improve it or create my own report that is much larger or has its own merit to me. So again, this openness to the solution is quite nice. There was a lot of questions about best practices. So also what Delineate does, it does kind of security hardening and checks of itself. And let's say it checks that this one is an X, so it means you did not do that. And you maybe should change some settings to improve your security of Delineate tool itself. Maybe, of course, you want to leave it as that because it's better for you and you work like that. And if you click on it, you will get a quick summary, what you need to do to change. And if I click on the hyperlink, it will direct me to the right place where I need to make this change. Again, this they kind of thought about everything, made for administrators to easier to use this tool and start improving it. Okay, do I have much time? I have some time, let's go to monitoring. This is the usual thing that is also interesting. So again, let's take 10 seconds, very short. Let's look for something at least more. Let's try this one. Maybe something was typed in here. So some Linux session. Well, not a lot of commands were typed in. I think it was just logged in and left it there. So, but yeah, you can see here that we can record commands being typed, and also have screenshots. Maybe usual with Linux you don't need the screenshots, but you can decide yourself and do you want screenshots or not. But yeah, not that much information here. Oh, I did click wrong. So session monitoring. Some Windows, 8 seconds. 1 minute. Yeah, it's a demo server, so there's a lot of very boring reports. So, but here you will see a Windows session. It's without agent, so just the screenshots. So again, we can have screenshots. If I had agent installed on this system, I would get also this metadata of processes started, applications, and etc. And also I could enable keylogger if I would like on those sessions to collect more data, what administrators have been doing on the system. And yeah, if I take web-based login, I don't know if it even has already there. Yeah, let's maybe click this one again. I think it will be very short, but yeah, you can have recording. Of course, everything can be exported if you have the rights and shared with responsible people if needed. So yeah. Another thing to mention is discovery. The NEA can go through different type of systems like Active Directory, Unix accounts, VMware, and etc. and scan those systems. And if they found some privileged accounts or etc., you define what you're looking for. They can automatically import into the Linea and put in specific folder, or it can just show you this information. So if I go to my scans, I can see, let's start maybe from Active Directory. I can see what local accounts the Linea have found. I can see what public keys it found. I can see the service accounts it found. So again, I can see that Delinea found some scheduled tasks, Windows services. I think there should be some ISS pools also found, and those dependencies can be imported, or maybe not. Those dependencies can be also imported into Delinea. And let's say you have some backup system running on a server as a service, yeah, and it uses some specific account, so we can rotate, Delinea can rotate the password of that user and go to the service and also change the password and like restart service or whatever to make it work again. So it can find those dependencies, import them, and also manage them and rotate passwords for them. And of course, the main accounts and etc. Again, it shows what are managed, what is unmanaged, and so on. So if we go to Windows machines, it's less, but again, mostly local accounts. So again, it found some accounts. It shows me that this one is managed, this one is unmanaged, etc. So again, I can just click on here and start managing it. I can create a rule that will automatically import to specific folder, rotate the password, and etc. and assign to specific user this secret, or I just can go and delete those users. It depends what I want to achieve from the system. Last thing to show is, let's say, remote password changing. If we go and look what kind of systems are supported by Delinea out of the box, around 50 different systems. Those again available in those delinea.docs.com that Radek mentioned. Here you can see different ones. It's for automatic password rotations, but what I wanted to show again that if you take some of those configured, you can see again how Delinea does that. It's not again locked out, it's not hidden from you. And if something does not work for you, or you want to apply for specific system that is not supported, so you can go here, check how it's being done, and just duplicate it to your own use case. So again, this openness kind of helps out when you have very specific cases, very specific systems that maybe are out of the box not supported. It does not mean you cannot integrate them. So yeah, maybe the last thing to mention that we still have, okay, let's do it there. Radek talked about this RAS, but yeah, so we have kind of a engine on-prem. So in the cloud, you don't really need to store any passwords. It's just a platform where user logs in, and you have secret server on-prem. So the third-party user log in. You don't create any VPNs connections, whatever. They kind of go directly. Delinea everything does for you, creates an encrypted tunnel, and this user goes seamlessly to this remote access engine and then to the systems. And this remote access engine takes the passwords from your secret server that is on-prem, so they never leave your premises. Of course, if you'd have a cloud deployment, so, well, you don't care then. Yeah, so I think I mentioned the main parts that I want to. So are there any more questions, or maybe you have some questions? Does that mean that says an element will substitute account password in configuration file? I don't get if I correctly understand the questions, but yeah, Delinea will go and change the password in the specified system. So if it's in configuration file, theoretically, yeah, you can do integration, like automated script that will go and change passwords in configuration files or databases. But I don't know if I understood the question correctly.
If I understand, it's because of the service account where you have hard-coded password, and then this is not related to the human. It's just kind of a service. So there is a couple of scenarios. Either we can do this just with the certificates, which is usually for the large scale, faster and better, and then make those certificates after use not valid anymore. or if we have scenarios like this that we have some script where we have hard-coded password, yes, we can start rotating those passwords. And after password was used once on the system, then after usage of this password, then password will be changed to the new one. So the next time when we're trying to log in, the system which is accessing the machine at the end is just asking for the new password from the secret server. Password is injected to the machine. This is the new password, and then after use again, password is rotated to the new one. So there is no single straight answer because there is a couple of the scenarios which is the way you want to use it. So please, if this is really interesting for you, contact us after the session so we can do dedicated trial or demo session for you, so you can play it with you by yourself and see how many options you may have here for the password rotation for those kind of accounts.
It really depends on the use case, on the company,
Yeah.
and what is wanted to achieve. Oh, it looks there are no more questions.
Yes, so thank you, Radek and Dinas, for your presentation and demo. I checked once again, so I see no more questions. So to conclude, we hope this webinar was very helpful. We invite you to get to know more by contacting us. You can see our contact details in the chat section. Thank you to all participants who joined us today. Hope to see you next time. Have a good rest of the day. Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.